"Ethan James, you fraud." The shout came from the back, sharp and venomous. Heads turned, and there he was, Tyler, my ex, storming through the crowd like a hurricane. His face was twisted with rage, his eyes locked on me. Before I could process it, he grabbed the mic from a stunned volunteer and turned to the audience. "You all think he's a hero?" Tyler spat, his voice booming over the speakers. "He's a liar. He built this whole empire on my back, stole my ideas, and then tossed me aside when I wasn't useful anymore." The air sucked out of the room. My chest tightened as whispers rippled through the crowd. I stepped forward, trying to keep my cool. "Tyler, this isn't the place. Let's talk." "No." He cut me off, jabbing a finger at me. "You don't get to control this anymore, Ethan. Tell them how you used me, how you took my designs for this campaign and claimed them as yours." That hit like a punch. The designs were mine. Hours of late nights, sketching, dreaming, but Tyler had been there, brainstorming with me in the early days. Now he was twisting it, painting me as a thief in front of everyone I'd fought to inspire. Phones were out, cameras flashing, and I could already see the headlines forming. "Rising gay activist exposed as a fake." Security moved in, but Tyler wasn't done. He shoved a stack of papers, old notes, mock-ups, into the hands of a nearby reporter, shouting, "Proof." "It's all right there." The crowd parted as he was dragged away, his accusations echoing in the night. I stood there, the spotlight burning, feeling stripped bare. But here's the thing. I'm Ethan James. I don't just survive, I thrive. I've faced worse than a bitter ex with a vendetta. Growing up in a small Georgia town where being gay meant being a target, I learned early how to turn pain into power. I built rainbow futures with my own hands, turned it into a force that's changed lives across the country. I'm not just gay. I'm super gay, unapologetically proud, and no one, not even Tyler, gets to take that from me. The aftermath was brutal. By morning, social media was ablaze. Ethan James, hero or hypocrite, trended on Twitter, and the comments were a war zone, some defending me, others tearing me apart. My team was scrambling, fielding calls from donors pulling out, but I wasn't shaken. I was furious. Tyler didn't just attack me. He attacked everything I stand for, everything I've built for kids like us who need a voice. I called my best friend, Marcus, who's been with me since the beginning. "He's lying," I said, pacing my loft. "Those designs were mine. He's twisting the truth to hurt me." Marcus didn't sugarcoat it. "Doesn't matter what's true, man. People love a scandal. You gotta hit back hard." He was right. This wasn't just personal, it was a chess game. And I'm a damn good player. That's when I started digging. Tyler's outburst felt too calculated, too public. He's a hothead, sure, but this smelled like someone else's fingerprints. I thought of Senator Carla Vance, a Florida big shot who'd been gunning for me ever since I called her out on her anti-LGBTQ plus voting record. She's old school power, arrogant, untouchable, and I'm the upstart threatening her world. If she'd gotten to Tyler, fed him this story, it'd explain a lot. I met Marcus at a cafe downtown, away from the chaos. "If Vance is behind this," I said, "I need proof. She's not just coming for me. She's coming for every kid we're trying to protect." He nodded, eyes sharp. "Then we get dirty. Dig into Tyler, her staff, whatever it takes. You're not the underdog here. Ethan, you're the king. Act like it." That night, I stood in front of my team, 20 loyal fighters who'd stuck by me through the storm. "This isn't over," I told them, my voice steady. "We're not just defending my name, we're defending our mission. Discrimination, family rejection, mental health struggles, that's what we fight every day. Some coward wants to tear us down? Let them try." They cheered, and I felt it, that fire that's carried me through every battle. I wasn't going to let Tyler or Vance or anyone else define me. I'm Ethan James, fierce, strong-willed, and in control. This was my story, and I'd write the ending. But first, I had a score to settle. Tyler thought he could humiliate me. Vance thought she could bury me. They'd learn soon enough. I don't just rise, I dominate. And when I'm done, they'll wish they'd never crossed me. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the San Francisco skyline through the window. The city lights shimmered like a promise, but tonight they felt cold and distant. The chaos of the past few days replayed in my mind, a public confrontation that had left my reputation battered and my resolve tested. But I wasn't done. I was Alex Thompson, and I'd clawed my way through worse than this. No petty drama was going to take me down. I grabbed my phone and dialed Jamie. He picked up on the second ring, his voice a steady anchor in the storm. "Alex, you okay?" he asked. "I've been better," I said, pacing the room. "But I'm not letting this stop me. I need to fight back." "That's my boy," Jamie replied, a hint of pride in his tone. "What's the move?" "I'm going public. A press conference. I need to tell my side of the story. Show them I'm not backing down. Bold. Risky. But you've got the guts for it. I'm in, whatever you need." "Thanks, Jamie. I'll call you tomorrow with details." Hanging up, I felt a spark of determination ignite. This wasn't just about me. It was about the community I'd sworn to uplift. I wasn't going to let lies and shadows win. The next day, I was neck-deep in prep when my phone pinged. A new blog post from Taylor, that venomous little blogger who'd made it his mission to tear me apart. The title glared at me. "The Truth About Alex Thompson." My stomach twisted as I skimmed it. Half-truths and outright fabrications, calling me a fraud, a sellout. He timed it perfectly to hit just before I could speak. Anger surged, but I swallowed it down. This was a game, and I knew how to play. Taylor wanted me rattled. Instead, he just handed me more fuel. The press conference was set at the Mission District Community Center, a place where I'd rallied for equality countless times. The room buzzed with reporters, activists, and a few familiar faces from neighborhood. I stepped to the podium, heart pounding but steady. "Thank you for being here," I began, voice ringing clear. "I'm Alex Thompson, and I stand before you as part of a fight bigger than myself. We're told America is about freedom, but for too many in the LGBTQ+ community, that freedom's a mirage. Discrimination in jobs, hate in the streets, rejection at home. We face it daily. But we're not invisible, and we're not silent. I'm here because we deserve better, and I'll keep fighting until we get it." The room erupted in applause, a wave of support that lifted me. But then, a voice sliced through the noise. "Alex, what about the emails?" I froze. A reporter in the back waved a tablet, his expression smug. "The leaked emails showing you colluding with corporate interests." Any comment? Emails? My mind raced. This was a setup. I hadn't colluded with anyone. But the cameras were rolling, and doubt flickered in the crowd's eyes. "I don't know anything about these so-called emails," I said, keeping my voice even. "My commitment to this cause is real, and I'll address any specifics once I've seen the evidence." I stepped down, adrenaline buzzing. The room was a mix of cheers and murmurs. Someone was out to bury me, and I had to figure out who, fast. That night, San Francisco's fog rolled in thick, cloaking my apartment in gray. I sat alone, replaying the day. I'd held my ground, but those emails gnawed at me. What if I couldn't prove they were fake? What if this unraveled everything? My phone buzzed, a text from Jamie. "Rough day, but you're not alone. We'll fix this. Sleep on it." I managed a small smile. He was right. I had people in my corner, and giving up wasn't an option. But the fear lingered, a quiet shadow I couldn't shake. Then another buzz. An unknown number. "Meet me at the pier at midnight. I have info that can help." My pulse spiked. A trap? A lifeline? I texted back, "Who is this?" No reply. The clock read 11:20 p.m. I grabbed my jacket, mind made up. I'd faced worse odds than this. The pier was eerie in the fog, the city's hum muffled by the waves. I walked the planks, each step echoing, until I saw a figure at the end, shrouded in shadow. My breath hitched as they turned. "Alex," they said, voice low and familiar. It was Taylor. The fog clung to the pier like a shroud, muffling the city's distant hum. I stood at the end, heart pounding, as Taylor stepped out of the shadows. His face was half lit by the dim street lamp, eyes sharp and unreadable. "Alex," he said, voice low, almost a whisper. I clenched my fists, fighting the urge to lash out. "What do you want, Taylor? More lies to spread?" He flinched, but didn't back down. "I have something you need. Proof that those emails are fake." My breath caught. Why should I believe you? You've been trying to destroy me. Taylor's gaze dropped, and for a moment, he looked defeated. I was wrong. I let my anger get the best of me. But I'm not your enemy, Alex. I stepped closer, skepticism warring with a flicker of hope. Then who is? He hesitated, then pulled out a flash drive. This has everything. The real source of those emails, the people behind the smear campaign. It's all here. I reached for it, but he pulled back. Not so fast. I need something from you first. My eyes narrowed. What? Understanding, he said, voice softening. I was manipulated, Alex. Someone fed me those lies, and I was hurting. I saw you as the perfect target. I studied him, searching for deceit. But all I saw was pain, raw and unguarded. Who hurt you, Taylor? He swallowed hard. It doesn't matter. What matters is making this right. Something shifted between us then, the air thickening with unspoken words. I took a step closer, close enough to feel the heat radiating from him. Why are you really here, Taylor? His eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw vulnerability. Because I can't stop thinking about you. Even when I hated you, I couldn't get you out of my head. My pulse quickened. This was dangerous territory, but I couldn't deny the pull. What are you saying? He closed the distance, his breath warm against my skin. I'm saying I was wrong about you. And maybe there's something here worth exploring. Before I could respond, his lips were on mine, fierce and demanding. The world tilted, and I was lost in the intensity of it. His hands gripped my waist, pulling me closer, and I responded with equal fervor. It was like a dam breaking, years of pent-up emotion flooding out in a single, electrifying moment. We broke apart, both breathless, eyes locked. This doesn't change anything, I whispered, though my heart screamed otherwise. Taylor's lips curved into a half-smile. Maybe not, but it's a start. He handed me the flash drive, his fingers lingering on mine. Take this. Use it, and when you're ready, come find me. I watched him walk away, disappearing into the fog like a ghost. My mind was a whirlwind, but one thing was clear. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I clutched the flash drive like it was a lifeline, my mind still reeling from Taylor's kiss and his cryptic departure into the San Francisco fog. The pier was silent now, save for the soft lapping of waves, but my pulse thundered. That moment with Taylor, electric, raw, and dangerously complicated, had shifted something in me. But I couldn't let it distract me. Not when the truth was finally within reach. Back in my apartment, I plugged the drive into my laptop, half expecting it to be a trap. Instead, it opened a gold mine. Emails, financial records, and encrypted chats, all pointing to a coordinated effort to ruin me. The name at the center of it all? Senator Carla Vance. I'd suspected her, but seeing her fingerprints on every move, funding Taylor's blog, planting those fake emails, even orchestrating the gala outburst, lit a fire in my gut. This wasn't just personal. She was targeting rainbow futures to silence the LGBTQ plus movement in California, using me as the scapegoat. I called Jamie at dawn, barely containing my rage. It's Vance. She's been pulling the strings all along. Jamie whistled low. That's a big fish, Alex. You sure you want to go after her? She came for me first, I said, voice hard. I'm not just fighting for my name. I'm fighting for every kid she's trying to erase with her policies. We expose her, Jamie. No merci. All right, King, he said, a grin in his tone. Let's make her regret it. My next move was risky, but I was done playing defense. I needed an ally with reach, someone who could amplify the truth without being swayed by Vance's influence. Enter Lena Cruz, a firebrand journalist with the San Francisco Chronicle. She'd been covering LGBTQ plus rights for years, calling out politicians like Vance with a pen sharper than a blade. I'd met her at a rally last year, and her no-nonsense vibe had stuck with me. I reached out, and she agreed to meet at a dive bar in the Castro, far from prying eyes. The place was all neon and old jukebox tunes, a safe haven where I could breathe easier. Lena slid into the booth across from me, her dark eyes sizing me up. Alex Thompson, she said, sipping a soda. You've got the whole city talking. What's the real story? I slid the flash drive across the table. Senator Vance is trying to bury me and my nonprofit. This proves it. Her team's been fabricating lies, manipulating people like Taylor to do their dirty work. She's not just after me. She's after the whole movement. Lena raised an eyebrow, popping the drive into her tablet. Her expression shifted as she scrolled, lips tightening. This is explosive. Vance has deep pockets and deeper connections. If we run this, it's war. Good, I said, leaning forward. I'm not here to negotiate with bigots. I want her exposed, publicly, permanently. Lena smirked. I like your fire, but we need more than this. These records are damning, but they're technical. We need a human angle, something to make people feel it. I nodded, thinking of Taylor. His betrayal still stung, but his confession on the pier hinted at something deeper. Someone had used him, twisted his pain into a weapon. What if we get someone from her camp to talk? Someone she burned? Lena's eyes gleamed. Now you're thinking like a journalist. Got anyone in mind? I hesitated. Maybe, but it's complicated. She leaned back, studying me. Complicated's my specialty. Give me that source, and I'll make sure Vance's empire cracks. The next day, I tracked down Taylor. He'd gone quiet since the pier, his blog dormant, but I found him at a coffee shop in No Valley, hunched over a laptop. He looked up as I approached, surprise flashing across his face. Alex, he said, voice wary. Didn't expect to see you. I sat across from him, keeping my tone steady. I need your help, Taylor. Vance used you, just like she's using everyone else. You said you wanted to make things right. Here's your chance. He shifted, eyes darting away. I gave you the drive. What more do you want? I want you to go public, I said. Tell the world how she manipulated you, fed you lies about me. People will listen to you, Taylor. You got a platform. He laughed, bitter. You think I'm brave like you? I'm not. I was jealous, Alex. You're everything I wanted to be. Confident, proud, unstoppable. When Vance's team reached out, they played me like a fiddle, and I let them. His honesty hit hard. I saw myself in him. The younger me, scared and small in a world that didn't want me. You don't have to be perfect to be brave, I said. You just have to show up. He looked at me, something softening in his gaze. Why do you trust me after everything? I don't, I admitted, but I believe in second chances. And I believe you're more than her pawn. He didn't answer, but the silence felt different now. Less hostile, more like a bridge forming. That night, I stood before my Rainbow Futures team in our cramped office. The mood was tense. The scandal had shaken their trust, but I wasn't about to let them see me waver. We're at a crossroads, I told them, voice ringing with conviction. Vance thinks she can scare us into silence, but she doesn't know who we are. We're fighters, queer, proud, and unbreakable. This isn't just about me. It's about every kid out there facing rejection, every adult told they don't belong. We expose her, and we show the world what we're made of. One of my youngest volunteers, Kai, spoke up. But what about the backlash? Vance has supporters, loud ones. I met his gaze. Let them shout. We're louder, and we've got the truth. The room erupted in cheers, and I felt that spark again, the one that had carried me from a Georgia trailer park to the front lines of this fight. I was Alex Thompson, and I wasn't just surviving. I was dominating, but trouble was brewing. As I left the office, my phone buzzed with a voicemail from an unknown number. The voice was cold, clipped. Back off, Thompson, or we'll make sure you lose more than your reputation. I froze, the threat sinking in. Vance wasn't playing small anymore. This was a warning, and I knew better than to ignore it. But I also knew running wasn't an option. I'd come too far, fought too hard. If she wanted a war, I'd give her one. I texted Lena, got a threat. We need to move fast. Then I called Jamie, my voice steady despite the storm inside. It's getting real. You still with me? Always, he said. Let's take her down. The pieces were falling into place, but the board was shifting. Taylor's decision loomed, and Vance's shadow grew darker. I was ready to strike, but one wrong move could cost me everything. The San Francisco morning was crisp, the kind that made you feel alive, but I was too wired to notice. The voicemail threat from last night echoed in my head. Back off, Thompson, or we'll make sure you lose more than your reputation. Senator Carla Vance was tightening the noose, but I wasn't about to choke. I was Alex Thompson, fierce, proud, and ready to turn her game against her. I met Lena Cruz at her office in the San Francisco Chronicle building, a chaotic hive of ringing phones and clacking keyboards. She was hunched over her desk, surrounded by printouts from the flash drive Taylor had given me. Her eyes lit up when I walked in. "Alex, this is dynamite," she said, tapping a stack of papers. Vance's team didn't just fund Taylor's smear campaign. They've been funneling money to anti-LGBTQ plus groups across the state, disguising it as family values grants. It's a paper trail straight to her. My jaw tightened. She's not just after me. She's bankrolling hate, trying to crush our community, while smiling for the cameras. Lena nodded. "Exactly. We publish this. It's not just a scandal. It's a reckoning. But we need Taylor to go on record. His story humanizes it, shows how she manipulates people." I shifted, the memory of Taylor's kiss on the pier flashing through my mind. "He's thinking about it. I'll push him again today." "Good," Lena said, her gaze sharp. "Because we're on a clock. Vance's people know we're sniffing around. The threat you got? It's not a bluff." I smirked, defiance bubbling up. "Let them come. I'm not hiding." Lena's lips twitched. "That's why I like you, Thompson. Now, go get me that statement." I found Taylor at a park in the Mission, sitting on a bench with a sketch pad, drawing the vibrant murals that lined streets. He looked up as I approached, his expression a mix of wariness and something softer. "Hope, maybe." "Alex," he said, setting the pad aside. "You're persistent. Comes with the territory." I replied, sitting beside him. "I need you to go public, Taylor. Tell the world how Vance used you. It's not just about clearing my name. It's about stopping her from hurting others." He stared at the ground, fingers tracing the edge of his sketch pad. "I want to help, but I am scared. She's powerful, Alex. What if she comes after me?" I leaned closer, voice firm but gentle. "She's already come after you. She turned your pain into a weapon. You're not her pawn anymore. You're stronger than that." His eyes met mine, searching. "You really believe that?" "I do," I said and meant it. "You're not the guy who wrote those lies. You're the guy who risked everything to give me that flash drive. That's who you are." He exhaled, a shaky breath. "Okay, I'll do it. For you and for me." I felt a surge of relief, but it was tempered by the memory of his lips on mine, the heat of that moment on the pier. I pushed it down. This was about justice, not feelings. Not yet. That afternoon, I gathered my Rainbow Futures team for a strategy session. The office was buzzing, volunteers fueled by coffee and determination. Kai, the young activist who'd voiced his fears last time, stood up, his voice steadier now. "Alex, we've got your back," he said. "Vance's supporters are flooding social media with hate, but we're fighting back. Hashtags, videos, testimonials from kids we've helped. It's trending." I grinned, pride swelling. "That's what I'm talking about. We're not just defending ourselves. We're showing the world who we are. Queer, proud, and unstoppable." The room cheered, but my phone buzzed, cutting through the noise. It was Jamie. "Alex, we've got a problem. Check your email. Now." I opened my laptop, heart sinking as I saw the subject line. Confidential. Rainbow Futures financial irregularities. The email, sent anonymously to my entire board, alleged I'd been siphoning funds for personal use. Attached were doctored bank statements, slick enough to fool anyone who didn't dig deep. "Vance," I muttered, fury rising. "She's trying to cripple us before we can strike." Jamie's voice was grim. "This is bad, man. The board's freaking out. They're calling an emergency meeting tonight." I clenched my fists. "Then we crash it. I'm not letting her lies take us down." The board meeting was in a sterile conference room downtown, all glass and sharp angles. The 10 board members sat around a polished table, their faces a mix of concern and suspicion. I walked in with Jamie and Kai, head high, refusing to let them see me sweat. "Alex," the chair, Dr. Patel, began, "these allegations are serious. We need to suspend operations until we investigate." "Suspend operations?" I cut in, voice sharp. "That's exactly what Vance wants, to shut us down, to silence the kids we serve. Those documents are fake, and I can prove it." Dr. Patel frowned. We've hired an auditor, but it'll take time. Time we don't have, I said, slamming the flash drive on the table. This proves Vance is behind the smear campaign, including these lies. She's not just attacking me. She's attacking our mission, our community. You suspend us, you're handing her the win. The room went quiet. Kai stepped forward, his voice trembling but clear. Rainbow Futures saved my life. When my family kicked me out, Alex and this team gave me a home. If you shut us down, you're telling kids like me we don't matter. His words hit like a tidal wave. The board exchanged looks, and Dr. Patel nodded slowly. We'll expedite the audit. But Alex, you need to clear this up fast. I nodded, adrenaline pumping. Consider it done. That night, I was alone in my apartment, poring over the flash drive's files when my phone lit up with a text from Taylor. Meet me at the Chronicle. Lena's ready to run the story, but something's wrong. My gut twisted. I grabbed my jacket and headed out, the city's lights blurring as I drove. When I arrived, Lena and Taylor were in her office, faces grim. Taylor looked like he'd seen a ghost. What's going on? I asked. Lena slid a tablet across the desk. We got this an hour ago. It's a cease and desist from Vance's lawyers, claiming our story's defamatory. They're threatening to sue us into oblivion. I scanned the letter, rage simmering. She's scared. This is her last play. There's more, Taylor said, voice barely above a whisper. I got a call from her team. They offered me money, a lot, to retract my statement and disappear. I stared at him, betrayal cutting deep. And he met my gaze, eyes fierce. I told him to shove it. I'm done being their puppet. Relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. Lena leaned forward. We can still publish, but it's a risk. If we're wrong, or if Taylor backs out, we're toast. I'm not backing out, Taylor said, voice steady. I'm with you, Alex. I looked at him, the weight of his choice settling in. Then let's do this. We publish, we fight, and we win. Lena nodded, a spark in her eyes. All right, team, let's burn it down. As I left the Chronicle, a new voicemail waited on my phone. It was the same cold voice from before. You were warned, Thompson. Keep pushing, and we'll destroy everyone you love. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about Jamie, Kai, Taylor, my entire team. Vance was playing dirty, and I had to play smarter. I called Jamie, voice low. We need to protect everyone. This just got personal. Whatever it takes, he said. We're family, Alex. We don't break. I hung up, staring into the night. Vance thought she could scare me into submission, but she'd miscalculated. I was Alex Thompson, charismatic, unbreakable, and ready to make her pay. The war was on, and I was bringing the fight to her doorstep. The San Francisco skyline glittered like a challenge as I stood outside the Chronicle building, the weight of the latest threat burning in my chest. Keep pushing, and we'll destroy everyone you love. Senator Carla Vance wasn't just playing dirty. She was waging war. But I was Alex Thompson, and I didn't bow to cowards. I'd built Rainbow Futures from nothing, fought for kids like me who'd been told they didn't belong. If Vance wanted to break me, she'd have to try harder. Inside, Lena Cruz was a whirlwind, finalizing the expose with her team. The story was set to drop tomorrow morning. A bombshell linking Vance to illegal funding of anti-LGBTQ+ groups, complete with Taylor's testimony about how she'd manipulated him. But the cease and desist from her lawyers loomed, and the threat against my loved ones made every move feel like walking a tightrope. Lena looked up as I entered, her eyes sharp. Alex, we're ready to publish, but Vance's team is doubling down. They've got a press conference scheduled tonight to clear her name. She's going to spin this before we can strike. I clench my jaw. Then we crash it. She wants a stage? I'll take it from her. Taylor, sitting in the corner, raised an eyebrow. You're going to confront her in public? That's bold. Bold's my middle name. I shot back, though my stomach twisted at the risk. You still in? He nodded, his gaze steady. All the way. Lena smirked. All right, Thompson. Let's make some noise. The press conference was at the Fairmont Hotel, a glitzy fortress of old money and power. The ballroom was packed, reporters, politicians, and Vance's loyalists, all buzzing under chandeliers that screamed wealth. I slipped in with Taylor, Jamie, and Kai, my heart pounding, but my head high. I was dressed sharp. Navy blazer, crisp white shirt, and a rainbow pin that gleamed like a middle finger to Vance's world. Vance stood at the podium, all polished smiles and tailored elegance, spinning her narrative. "These baseless accusations are an attack on family values," she said, voice dripping with sincerity. "I've always supported equality, but we must protect our children from radical agendas." The crowd murmured approval, and I felt sick. She was lying through her teeth, painting herself as a martyr while bankrolling hate. I glanced at Taylor, who looked pale but resolute. "Ready," I whispered. He nodded. "Let's do this." I stood, my voice cutting through the room like a blade. "Senator Vance, if you're so committed to equality, why are you funding groups that push conversion therapy and discriminate against queer kids?" The room went dead silent. Vance's smile froze, and every camera swung to me. Reporters scrambled, phones out, live feeds rolling. I stepped forward undaunted. "I'm Alex Thompson, founder of Rainbow Futures. Your team tried to silence me with lies, fake emails, and threats. But we've got proof: your money, your orders, your war on our community." Care to explain? Chaos erupted. Reporters shouted questions, and Vance's team scrambled to regain control. She raised a hand, voice icy. "Mr. Thompson, these are wild fabrications. I won't dignify them with a response." "Then let me," Taylor said, stepping up beside me. The crowd hushed, stunned. "I'm Taylor Nguyen. Senator Vance's team fed me lies to smear Alex, used my pain to fuel their agenda. I was wrong to believe them, but I'm here now, telling the truth." He held up a tablet, displaying emails from Vance's staff. The screens behind Vance, meant for her presentation, glitched, then lit up with the same documents, projected for all to see. Gasps rippled through the room. I shot a glance at Jamie, who winked. He'd hacked the system, our secret weapon. Vance's face went ashen. "This is a setup," she snapped, but her voice cracked. The crowd wasn't buying it. Reporters surged forward, demanding answers, while her supporters slipped out, sensing the tide turning. I locked eyes with her, my voice steady. "You thought you could erase us, Senator. But we're louder, stronger, and we're not going anywhere." The room exploded in applause from the activists who'd snuck in with us. Vance's security hustled her offstage, her empire crumbling in real time. I felt a rush of triumph, but it was bittersweet. This wasn't the end. Not yet. Outside, the night air hit like a wake-up call. Jamie slapped my shoulder, grinning. "You owned her, man. That's how you do it." Kai, eyes wide, hugged me. "I can't believe we pulled that off. You were epic." Taylor lingered nearby, quiet. I walked over, the tension between us crackling. "You did good," I said. "That took guts." He shrugged, a half-smile tugging at his lips. "Had a good teacher." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A text from Lena. "Stories live. Check the site." I pulled up the Chronicle's homepage. The headline blared, "Senator Vance exposed. Funding hate under family values guise." Taylor's testimony was front and center, alongside the financial records. Social media was already ablaze. Hashtags like #VanceExposed and #RainbowFutures trending. We'd done it. But my victory was cut short by another text. This one from an unknown number. "You'll pay for this, Thompson. Watch your back." My blood ran cold. Vance was down but not out, and someone was still pulling strings. Back at my apartment, I sat with Jamie and Kai, debriefing over pizza. The mood was high, but the threat gnawed at me. "We need to be ready," I said. "Vance has allies, and they're not going to let this slide." Jamie nodded. "I'm digging in her network. If there's a bigger player, I'll find them." Kai looked at me, his young face serious. "Alex, why do you keep fighting, even with all this hate?" I leaned back, thinking of the kid I used to be, scared, hiding in a Georgia closet, dreaming of a world that didn't exist yet. Because someone has to. Every time we stand up, we make it easier for the next kid to breathe. That's worth everything. He nodded, eyes shining. "Then I'm in. All the way." Later, I found Taylor waiting outside my building, leaning against a street lamp. The city hummed around us, alive and restless. Couldn't sleep? I asked. He shook his head. Just needed to see you. What we did tonight, it felt right. Like I'm finally free. I stepped closer, the pull between us undeniable. You are free, Taylor. You chose truth over fear. That's power. His eyes searched mine, soft and intense. And you? What do you choose? I didn't answer with words. I just held his gaze, letting the moment speak for itself. Whatever this was between us, it was growing, and I wasn't sure I could or wanted to stop it. But as I turned to head inside, my phone buzzed again. Another unknown number, this time with a photo. Me on the pier with Taylor, our kiss frozen in time. The caption read, "One secret for another. Drop this or everyone sees." My heart stopped. Someone had been watching us, and they were playing a new game. Vance was just the beginning. The real puppet master was still out there, and they were closer than I'd ever imagined. The photo on my phone burned in my mind. Me and Taylor locked in that stolen kiss on the pier with the caption, "One secret for another. Drop this or everyone sees." My heart pounded as I stood outside my San Francisco apartment, the city's pulse a distant hum. Senator Carla Vance was reeling from our expose, but this new threat proved someone else was pulling the strings, a puppet master who'd been watching, waiting. I was Alex Thompson, and I'd fought too hard to let them win now. I called Jamie, my voice low. "We got a problem. Someone's got dirt on me, personal dirt. They're trying to blackmail us into backing off." Jamie's tone was all business. "Send me everything. I'll trace the number. Whoever this is, they're not as smart as they think." Next, I texted Lena, new threat, photo of me and Taylor. "They want us to kill the story." Her reply was instant. "They're desperate. Keep pushing. I've got your back." Taylor was still outside, his face pale as I showed him the photo. "This is my fault," he said, voice breaking. "If I hadn't stopped." I cut in, grabbing his shoulder. "This isn't on you. It's on them. We end this together." He nodded, eyes fierce. "What's the plan?" "We find the source," I said. "And we hit them where it hurts." Jamie worked his tech magic, tracing the anonymous number to a burner phone linked to a downtown law firm, Harrington and Associates, a powerhouse known for shielding the elite. The firm had ties to Vance, but the real shock was their biggest client, Roger Harrington, a reclusive billionaire who'd bankrolled anti-LGBTQ plus campaigns for decades. Harrington was the shadow behind Vance, the true puppet master orchestrating my downfall to protect his empire of hate. I met Lena at a diner in the Tenderloin, the kind of place where nobody asked questions. She slid into the booth, her tablet already open. "Harrington's untouchable," she said. "No one's ever pinned him down. He's got judges, senators, even feds in his pocket. Then we make him touchable," I said, leaning forward. "He's behind the threats, the photo, everything. If we expose him, we don't just save rainbow futures. We change the game for our entire community." Lena's eyes gleamed. "I love a challenge, but we need ironclad proof. One slip, and he'll bury us." I thought of Taylor's courage, Kai's loyalty, Jamie's grit. We'll get it, and we'll do it loud. The plan was audacious, a live-streamed rally outside Harrington's firm, where we'd reveal his role and demand accountability. Rainbow Futures mobilized, pulling in allies from across the city, activists, students, even families who'd been helped by our programs. Kai led the social media charge, flooding platforms with hashtag #ExposeHarrington, while Jamie dug deeper, hacking into encrypted emails that tied Harrington to the blackmail. Taylor insisted on speaking at the rally. "I need to do this," he told me, his voice steady. "I helped start this mess. Let me help end it." I studied him, seeing the man he'd become. Not the bitter blogger, but a fighter reclaiming his power. "All right," I said, "but stay sharp. Harrington won't go down easy." The rally was set for noon in the financial district, a sea of rainbow flags and defiant chants. Hundreds gathered, their energy electric as I took the stage, a megaphone in hand. Cameras rolled, streaming to thousands online. "San Francisco," I shouted, voice ringing. "We're here because the fight for equality isn't just about laws. It's about power. Roger Harrington thinks he can hide behind his billions funding hate, threatening our lives, our loves. But we see him. And today, we're calling him out. The crowd roared, but my eyes caught a flicker of movement. Security guards, Harrington's men, lining the edges. I kept going undeterred. We've got proof. Emails, payments, threats, all linking him to a campaign to silence us. He thought he could break us, but we're unbreakable. Taylor stepped up, taking the megaphone. I'm Taylor and Gwen, and I was part of this lie. Harrington's team used me, fed me hate to spread, but I'm done hiding. The truth is out, and it's bigger than me, bigger than Alex. It's about all of us. He held up a tablet, streaming Jamie's hacked emails on giant screens we'd set up. The crowd gasped as Harrington's name appeared, linked to orders for the blackmail, the fake financial allegations, even the gala outburst. Social media exploded, the story going viral in minutes. Then chaos. A group of counter-protesters, Harrington's hired muscle, pushed through, shouting slurs and waving signs. The crowd tensed, but I raised my hands. Stay strong. They want fear. We give them unity. Kai and our volunteers linked arms, forming a human chain, their voices rising in a chant. Love wins. Love wins. The counter-protesters faltered, overwhelmed by our resolve. Police moved in, dispersing them, and the rally surged back to life. That night, the fallout was seismic. The Chronicle ran a follow-up, detailing Harrington's crimes, with Taylor's testimony as the heart of the story. Major networks picked it up, and hashtag Expose Harrington trended globally. Harrington issued a weak denial, but the damage was done. Sponsors dropped him, his firm faced investigations, and Vance.